hold up and learn on the fly in this environment?
They're going to have to rely on some veterans. They've got a handful of veterans that have been around and played in a lot of football games, but you're right, there's youth everywhere. Two of the guys, it starts really up front. Ricky Walker's played a lot of football. He's wearing the famous jersey 25, Donner Frank Beamer. You can see also that Reggie Floyd, the safety, is a veteran. His communication will be important. Bud Foster, you just heard Joey Galloway and the guys talking about it. He is an in-your-face, aggressive, blitz kind of guy. It's in his DNA. 8 guys at the line of scrimmage. How much will he have to pull back with all that youth in the secondary, especially at corner?
They leaned in a strong defense last year, but Justin Fuente's offense with Josh Jackson at quarterback may need to score a bunch of points this year, including tonight.
You know, watching that LSU game reminded me how much emotion and being doubted can bring college football teams together. Virginia Tech, to me, we'll see who wins the game, but I sense being around them, they feel disrespected and doubted as much as LSU did last night.
Osceola set to christen the season. As the Hokies are prepared to enter this cauldron of noise. Lots of folks dressed in black to mimic the all-black uniforms the Noles are wearing tonight. Tech's first visit here in a decade. They are revved up and ready for the beginning of the Willie Taggart era. Florida State and Virginia Tech under the lights in Doak Campbell. Fireworks just been set off, and welcome back as we bring you the ACC on ESPN. Frank Beamer and Bobby Bowden, they met on the sport's biggest stage in the championship game and a couple of ACC championship games. It's been old home week, a reunion for Bowden with his past players who are here tonight. Meanwhile, the man taking over this program is with Maria Taylor. Hi, Maria.
Yes, Chris. And Willie, you have been a fan of Florida State football since you were a kid, and you cherish this legacy. Now at the beginning of the Willie Taggart era, how would you describe this moment?
So surreal, you know, being at a place you always wanted to be, and you see it on TV all the time, guys running out. You see Osceola run out, and you finally hear you're on that side. It's a dream come true.
And it's a dream come true for your quarterback as well after a season-ending injury a year ago. He said he might cry when he runs out. How do you think he will respond in this atmosphere?
Well, I think he's ready to roll. He had a great week of practice, and he's worked his tail off to get back to this point. I'm excited to see him play.
All right, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Willie Taggart rebuilt USF, one season at Oregon, and as a Florida native, surrounded by Florida State fans when he grew up, not quite good enough to play quarterback for Bobby Bowden. This is, in fact, a dream, and he's got to have goosebumps at this moment.
Can't even imagine. You know, I think a lot of people raised their eyebrows when he left Oregon after just 1 year. But the only job he would have even considered leaving Eugene for was right here. And so he's had an opportunity to come back and to the state of Florida where he grew up, and he's at his dream job. And Justin Fuente was on the field before the game with you, Chris. Had a chance to talk to Frank Beamer, who I always love seeing, and he just talked on and on about how impressed he's been with Justin Fuente taking over in his 3rd year now, and how proud he is to see the direction of the program.
And his quarterback, Josh Jackson, they've counted on off-season improvement from him. He was good as a freshman. They expect him to take a big step forward this year. Seminoles won the toss and deferred, so they will kick off, and we'll see the Hokies offense led by Jackson in a few minutes. Florida State kickoff team is playing the Swag Surf song, and you'll see him sway back and forth. Like the all-black with the garnet matte finish helmets?
I'm all right. I love the traditional Florida State uni myself, but they get fired up to wear it, that's for sure.
The Noles sidelines going berserk.
Look at him back here. I mean, look at this shot from up here. They're going crazy.
Logan Tyler, also the punter, will handle the kickoff duties. Caleb Farley, number 3. Back deep. This will be fun tonight. Cross-division collision in the ACC. Tyler with a strong leg drives into the end zone, and Farley's going to take a knee. Wanted to charge out, and a teammate stopped him right there.
Yeah, first kick of the season, kickoff of the season. He wants to try to take that out. Well, you talked about Josh Jackson. Plays with great poise. We saw that demonstrated a year ago when he took over as a freshman. Tonight, as a sophomore, the coaches have said he really put in a lot of film work, and he's going to have some big play opportunities through the air because Harlan Barnett has come down as the defensive coordinator, very aggressive, plays a lot of man. As I said, play faster in your second year. Quicker decisions. All that film study he put in after 1 year starting, we'll see tonight how much that potentially pays off for him.
Deshaun McLeese is the tailback, but Jackson's going to throw in the first play. Hezekiah Grimsley gets to the edge, lowers the shoulder, and they move the 6 on the first play.
You have watched Michigan State over the years. You know how aggressive they are, how they are, and they play what's called a quarters coverage. Quarters coverage means 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers, and a lot of blitzing.
Check if they spot him at the 32, so 2nd and 3. Got to the line quickly, but didn't snap it right away. Pitch to the far side. And again, it's Grimsley. That one running wide right and wide left, and that is a first down across the 40.
What I was going to say is one of the areas that Michigan State and now Florida State is going to have to deal with how teams attack this defense is they go after the safeties that are in man coverage. And that means slot receivers and tight ends have opportunities to make plays.
And now it's McLeese. Quick burst up the middle, breaks tackles, so they give Jackson some comfortable throws early in this loud environment.
Yeah, absolutely. Just settle him in. Justin Fuente, who is a very, very good play caller, understands his quarterback, where his strengths are. And now that he has a quarterback that's been around and played in some tough games, you can already see Josh Jackson in these first 3 or 4 snaps making very quick decisions, just like Justin Fuente had hoped. Getting the ball out of his hands quickly.
McLeese has a crease, breaks a tackle, and rumbles inside the Florida State 45. And the Hokies put together a great opening drive.
Now, for some reason, you saw a linebacker here move and slide to the outside. It actually happens to be right where Virginia Tech happens to be running. Adonis Thomas takes himself completely out of the play off of some kind of stem or some kind of aggressive action by moving and opened up for Virginia Tech for a big game.
They got 21. The sophomore who finished off last season with a big performance in the bowl game. Play action. Jackson under pressure, flipped it, tried to get it out to Dalton Keene, one of those versatile tight ends, but Brian Burns was in his face.
Now, Brian Burns, I think, will be one of the beneficiaries of this new defensive scheme because he has a chance now to just pin his ears back and go after the quarterback. That time, there was the first time, really, we've seen Josh Jackson not in rhythm. A little bit surprised by how quickly Big 99 got in there.
But not surprised he's made an impact. You expect a monster season from number 99.
Absolutely. In this new scheme, he went from read and react to upfield as fast as he can.
McLeese on 2nd and 10 again has a crease, stiff arm, and muscles down to the 22-yard line. Levante Taylor, Virginia native, drove him out, but it's a first down.
Well, this is nice patience here. He's going to work his way to the right. See the line? Nice block by the tight end, the sophomore Keene. Gets up to the 2nd level, and I'm impressed by McLeese. He's put 15 pounds on. Looks like a different back. He's always had really good acceleration to the 2nd level. Now you can see through that lifting in the lower body.
7th play of the drive, 3rd catch for Grimsley, who's knocked down after a short gain inside the 20. Fuente comes out. You believe this is sort of a pre-scripted idea of what he wants to do early?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right now they have 7 plays. 3 of them are runs. 4 of them are passes, and he's just mixed it up very well. Josh Jackson is 3 of 4, mixing up their formations, their personnel groupings. This Florida State defense trying to prepare for everything that they might see, but it's coming at them very, very fast. And right now, Virginia Tech has the upper hand.
Steven Peoples is in the tailback, but it's a jet sweep. Handoff and barreling down inside the 10-yard line is Terrius Wheatley. And yes, that is the son of Tyrone Wheatley, a freshman who could make an impact this year.
He sure can. Watch how easy they get to the edge. Look at all this running room. You can't give away the edge of the defense this easily. Tight end makes a block, and Peoples leading around had nobody to block. They're lucky that ball didn't get all the way to the end zone. They've got to do a better job for Harlan Barnett, the defensive coordinator, getting out on the edges and forcing these backs back into the middle where the linebacker flow is.
Peoples hammering after a short gain. Peoples and McLeese will rotate. He had a foot injury last year that cost him a whole bunch of playing time.
But against these spread attacks, this is where the game is won or lost. They move the ball around the field. Florida State is okay with giving up some yards, but you want to force field goals. And Virginia Tech knows when they get down here, they got to score touchdowns. Let's see what happens down in this red area.
2nd and 8. Jackson loops for the end zone. Jump ball, caught, touchdown. Damon Hazelton. And the Hokies, first drive of the season, 75 yards to the end zone to quiet this crowd.
Well, if you're a Virginia Tech fan, that's about as good of a drive to open up the game that you could hope for. They motion receiver in. They leave Hazelton isolated one-on-one against Taylor, who's much smaller. They list him at 5'10". I don't know if he's that tall, and he never locates the football. He just puts the ball in the air to the taller Hazelton at 6'2", and the Ball State transfer makes the easy touchdown.
He's a guy that sat out last year getting eligible. They expect a lot of plays just like that. Wow. How will the Seminoles and Francois answer? Five passes, 4 completions by Jackson, including the touchdown. Dexter McLeese had a 21-yard run in that 75-yard opening drive.
Man, that's a clinic. 10 plays, 5 and 5. Pretty much doing what they wanted down the entire field, and then the touchdown there by Hazelton on the fade.
Jordan Stout booted away for the Hokies, and it will be deep in the end zone and down there. Well, here comes DeAndre Francois, who had that serious knee injury in the opener a year ago, and it changed the whole season for them.
Yeah, I mean, it was a different team once he went down, and he ends up winning the job. He's going to have to be in command of this new up-tempo scheme. And the leadership and guidance for all this Florida State skill. You're going to see a lot of new names, some new faces, some familiar, but some guys that haven't played a lot of football, and they need the leadership and guidance tonight of Francois.
They'll expect to have a power running game using a rotation of really talented backs. They've got 5 good ones. Cam Akers, number 3, gets the start. And he gets the football. Well, they got to move big Ricky Walker, the guy that you highlighted in the open, out of the middle there.
Yeah, he didn't get a lot of attention with Tim Settle in there last year, but if you really watch the film and watch him play, because of the quickness and the power, and I thought Bud Foster put it pretty good with us. He said he's just a pro. I mean, he is a man who comes every day ready to work. Really represents that lunch pail.
Check this formation. Bunch to the right. Akers out of the backfield makes the catch, but the Hokies were not full, and flying in there was Khalil Ladler, one of those new sophomore linebackers.
Yeah, Ladler didn't wait. He saw the formation. He anticipated they're probably going to get the ball out quickly. He didn't even read it. He just took off. I mean, he just immediately, see him come into your picture there. He didn't even wait for the ball to be in the air, and he was already gone, taken off. I'm sure Florida State will try to come back on a pump and go on that same look.
3rd and 11. With 3 starting backers, 4 combined career tackles coming in. Can you say inexperienced? Francois in the pocket, has protection, delivers a dart across the middle of Keith Gavin, and he's out near midfield, and you can see Francois' arm skills.
Not only his arm skills, but keep in mind he's coming off of an injury. Watch him stand in there as big Ricky Walker closes in on him. He keeps his vision downfield, and here comes this new tempo, up-tempo from Florida State.
You get 24 on 3rd and 11, and there's some movement on the right side of the offensive line. That is one of the dangers of tempo, right?
Offense, number 69, 5-yard penalty. First down.
What's going to be their philosophy on tempo tonight, the Noles?
Well, the philosophy is, talking to him yesterday, Coach Willie Taggart, he's big on changing it up, but he really wants to hit the accelerator after a first down. If they can get 4 or 5 yards at a time, they'll really start to do as much as they can. They want to get Bud Foster and this defense on their heels with a lot of new faces, create confusion, get them to have a bust, have open receivers going downfield.
Naquan Murray and the end around lost the football, and the Hokies have it. A takeaway as Ladler made the recovery. A disastrous play ends the Noles' first series.
I'll tell you, Ladler is off to a great start. This sophomore, he can play everything. Free safety, strong safety, the whip. He's right here. He sees the motion and right away knows he's got to get to the outside. Remember we talked about Florida State keeping the edge? Look how Ladler works to the outside, gets off of the Cam Akers block. Now you get a receiver, a running back cut back inside. Now you've got all those white jerseys. So he keeps him inside. Then you get a hand on the football, knock it loose. That time Ashby, the young middle linebacker, knocks the ball loose.
How would the sophomore linebackers, no experience, hold up? They played a great job.
They're flying to the football.
So now Jackson set up at the 35 as the Hokies tried to add to this lead and really quiet the crowd.
See if Josh Jackson goes for a big one here.
Throws a dart across the middle. It was a high throw. Tried to get the ball to Eric Kuma, the junior who's needed for a big role this year.
Kuma's a big body, 6'2", 225 pounds. I feel that that's the biggest difference from looking at this team and preparing for this game compared to last year when we called their game against Clemson in Blacksburg. Last year they had Cam Phillips and a young freshman, Sean Savoy. That was about it. Now they've got about 6 or 7 guys out at wide receiver they feel pretty good about.
McLeese has room. Deshaun McLeese barrels down inside the 15, and the Hokies are doing whatever they want right now.
They sealed this nicely with Kyle Chung right here. A little block to the inside, block out here, and you shoot right between the guard and the tackle. Good vision, picks up another block by the tight end, Cunningham, and then there's nobody left. He's off to the races.
2 big runs from McLeese, who's got 60 yards on 4 carries.
You get out into space against the defense that's playing man, and they're covering their wide receivers with their back to the football, and there's no one left there to make the play.
Jackson fires. High throw off the hands, incomplete. Grimsley was there. Throw a little bit off target. This feels important already. We've talked about the Noles as the rain begins to fall, not reacting well to adversity last season. Tiger working so hard to try to fix that, but this is the kind of adversity that'll test him in the first quarter of the season.
No doubt. Test anybody. You got a new coach, new regime, need leadership. Backbone. Again, they're in that red zone. They scored last time.
Play action across the middle. High again over the fingertips of Grimsley. It's tough to throw and catch as this rain, which has been plaguing this area today, is back all of a sudden.
And that time Harlan Barnett decided to bring pressure, brought the true freshman, Jaden Woodby, say that he has the it factor for a young freshman. Came in early, rolled early, and they feel that he knows the defense, even though he's a true freshman as well as anybody on this defense.
First time they faced third down tonight. Jackson looping one for the end zone. Another jump ball. Incomplete. Out of bounds was Hazelton. And the Hokies are stopped. Myers in coverage. Here comes a field goal.
Hazelton just lost kind of where he was. His momentum as he went into the air took him out of bounds. The ball was actually thrown inbounds. But his momentum into the air, he tries to get the right foot down. I think he just kind of lost his GPS there a little bit.
Progressive Pilot Cam shows that his toe didn't miss the field of play by much there. So Brian Johnson takes over for Joey Sly, knocks it through from 29 yards. Almost consider that a win for the Noles defense as the Hokies create a fumble and cash it in for 3.
ESPN College Football is presented by the Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. And in part by Mitsubishi Motors. Drive your ambition.
Man, they're having a good time. Nobody's having more fun than Beamer and Bowden. Number 6 and number 2 in the all-time FBS wins list.
By the way, they both look outstanding.
Yeah, sure
I mean, great. Retirement is treating him well.
Bobby was in the locker room. You had Peter Warrick, Marvin Shade Tree Jones, Derek Brooks, whose son DeKalen plays for the Noles. So he was enjoying seeing a lot of his former players before the game. Tyler to boot it off. And this is going to be dropped by Kalen LeBourne, the talented freshman. Look forward to seeing him make an impact as a returner or a runner tonight. ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Hampton by Hilton. Clemson ranked number 2. Strong favorites in this ACC conference on the road. Taking on Jimbo Fisher's Aggies. So Dabo and Jimbo reuniting at 7 o'clock Eastern time next Saturday. Game day will be there. This will step in as I do my U.S. Open duties. Second series for Francois and the Noles. The first ended in a fumble. They flip it out of the backfield to Jaquez Patrick. They're trying to get the ball to the edge, but Foster's defense is flying around.
They're dialed in right now. Give Bud Foster a lot of credit. He studied, just telling us this week, he studied a lot of not just Oregon with Willie Taggart, but went back to look at his days at South Florida since Willie Taggart has changed his offensive approach to more of a spread attack, up-tempo attack. They're dialed in here early.
Patrick, the running back, part of that stack formation, almost on the Tech sidelines, and now he'll motion back in.
Okay, the linebackers are flowing, but the wide receivers aren't making any blocks. Defensive backs are getting off the blocks and being much more aggressive.
Play action. Francois down the middle. It's a dart just slightly behind the intended receiver, DJ Matthews. 3rd and 11 against Foster's defense.
Well, he is fired up to work with these young players. He was telling us on the field he's excited about not just this year but the future. When you look at how many freshmen and sophomores, 15 of the 22 in the 2 deep are freshmen or sophomores.
He was hyped about guy after guy.
Every guy.
About their talent.
Oh, yeah.
Hokies don't bring pressure. Francois has time and delivers to a kneeling receiver who makes a catch on the far side, and it is a first down. That is Ontario Pokey Wilson, the fastest guy in this receiving corps.
The fastest guy, and he chased the defensive back off the line there. I'm surprised that Watts gave up that mark. You got to expect a route right at that line of right at the first down marker, maybe a yard past it. He started to bail, and it gave him room to throw it to Wilson.
And a handoff. Patrick breaking free. And the Noles out near midfield. Ladler made the tackle.
How about the effort by Francois? We got a flag down. Watch Francois, Chris, here. Remember, he's recovering from that knee. Watch him get out in front and the effort to try to pick up a block there on Ashby, the middle linebacker. Those are the kind of plays. You don't have to always be a rah-rah guy to be a leader. Plays like that provide great leadership as well.
Jeff Heaser in the ACC crew here.
Offense. Number 8, 5-yard penalty. First down.
And then we'll move him back and negate that run. Francois, they don't want him running the football or out there blocking too much. He's a capable runner, but you have to be mindful of protecting that knee. He's wearing a brace that he doesn't really like that much, but it's a precaution at this point.
Yeah. Not when we brought it up, he's going to wear it in the game. He kind of grimaced like, yeah, I kind of have to.
Blending in with the black pants pretty well.
Yeah. Another penalty, by the way, to hurt Florida State and their rhythm and their flow of trying to get this offense going.
Negated a 13-yard run. So on 1st and 15, Patrick motions back. They fake it to him, flip it near side. Gavin does get a block on the edge this time and is knocked out at the 40.
This style of offense, you know, it's a blend of like an Auburn, a Clemson, Hugh Freeze, and Ole Miss. Also worked with Baylor with the formations, the spreads, the formations with the wide receivers.
Nowhere to run in the middle. Patrick stacked up. A flag is down as he's dropped for a 2-yard gain. They were saying, Kirk, if they can get 4 or more yards on first down, that'll signal an increase in tempo.
Offense, number 74, 10-yard penalty. Second down.
What's interesting about it is Willie Taggart, he's a Jim Harbaugh guy, Jack Harbaugh guy. He's a West Coast guy. More of a pro style in the, kind of in a phone booth style of offense. That's his background. At Western Kentucky, it worked. Then he went to South Florida, and he said the first 2 years it wasn't working. And he said the only time we ever scored when we went into 2 minutes, so they changed. That's when they went out to Auburn, Clemson, Ole Miss, Baylor, studied all these different up-tempo spread formations, and it changed, and they doubled their points with Quentin Flowers in 15 and 16, and the rest is history.
Nice snap. Akers back in the game. They're just not able to get to the edge. The Hokie defense flying out there. Caleb Farley, the corner, forced him out.
Now they're also not being able to sustain blocks. These penalties clearly are not helping what they're trying to do, but I'm more impressed with what I'm seeing from Virginia Tech and this defense and how young they are and how quick they are flying to the football. And there's not just 1 or 2 guys. You're seeing 4, 5, 6 guys running in pursuit to get to that football.
Average to go on third down so far tonight, 11 yards. They need 16 here to keep the drive going. It's a handoff to Akers, who breaks tackles, almost busted a long one. Gets out across the 40, but will be several yards short of the first down. Alshon Gaines stopped him.
We're kind of looking at that. Obviously, they're in their own territory, down 10. Cannot afford to go for that. And
don't look for long.
No. They need to punt the ball. But with these offenses, you never know. With the spread, the up tempo, I mean, they take chances.
He came close to breaking a long one. Logan Tyler, lefty boots it away. A side spin kick. It's going to be very, very effective. Finally rolls dead on that wet grass down there at the 4-yard line. So the Noles don't score but do flip the field position. Tech back to work, up by 10. Well, a fast start for the visitors here. First 2 possessions, a touchdown and a field goal. But after the 54-yard punt, Hokies pinned back at the 4. That's the loud end of the stadium. No Tech fans down there. Jackson flanked by Peoples in the end zone. Tailback hit immediately, spins free, but is swarmed. Janarius Robinson, one of those backup defensive linemen in there this series. Maria?
Well, Chris, Josh Jackson, quarterback for Virginia Tech, has a strong feel for the game because his dad, Fred Jackson, coached for 23 seasons at the University of Michigan. So since he was in 3rd grade, he's been going to film meeting and pregame meetings with a bunch of players. He used to write down plays and ask his dad for feedback. Dad never misses a game, but this is his first season not coaching anywhere. He was coaching high school last season.
Yeah, first time in 42 years not involved in coaching. It's got to feel surreal. Down handoff, they swarm him. Of course, Fred, the assistant in Michigan, 92 to 2014. One son, Jeremy, played receiver for the Wolverines.
Yeah, I remember, if you watched Michigan football over the years, he has always been on the sideline there, helping the Wolverines out. And 2 sons grew up around that program. I love how he is just locked in. Some people you watch a game with and they're socializing and having a good time. Other people, like me, you watch and they don't want to talk to anybody. They're just locked in watching the game.
I love that Josh wears number 17 to honor his dad, who was an All-American, All-SWAC, Jackson State. On third down, Jackson from the end zone lofts the ball downfield, and the catch is made by Trey Turner, the true freshman. Makes a big catch.
They are going after the experienced Levante Taylor because of the size. This is one of those, just put it way up in the air and let the freshman Turner try to adjust, maybe get a PI. It goes up at 6'2" again and goes over the smaller Taylor.
High school hoop star with great leaping ability out of Greensboro.
Taylor, Levante Taylor is the experienced corner. On the other side, you have Kyle Myers, who doesn't have a lot of experience. And instead of going after the inexperienced, they're going right after the guy who's played a lot of football because of the physical matchup and the height advantage.
Enormous play to get out of the shadow of their end zone. And up inside Peoples.
Not only that, just to flip the field. I mean, that was a big opportunity for Florida State to get a 3-and-out. Get the ball maybe to start in plus territory, trying to get some points and see what happens here now on this third down. Taylor's now down at the bottom.
A need 8. Knowles are kind of showing some pressure up the middle. They don't bring it. Easy completion to Savoy on the edge. Sean Savoy dancing around, trying to kind of back outside, but is stopped short of the first down by a couple of yards.
Florida State showing a little man that dropped out and went to zone on 3rd down. When you play zone, all eyes are on the quarterback. Able to rally to the football. I thought Savoy might have a chance to get a little bit more north and south and pick up the first down, but the Noles get him just short.
Yeah, he retreated just at the wrong time. Samuels and Nasruddin stopped him, so they do force a punt. It's Oscar Bradburn, the Aussie, who had a solid freshman season. Collects the high snap. DJ Matthews is the returner. Comes up and makes the fair catch at the 21-yard line. You can stream college football all season long on ESPN Plus. A lot of other sports too. You got to get it. Start your free trial today downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com. So 1:07 to go. The glitter guys, the glitter girls in years past here. Want to see something from this offense that was billed as lethal simplicity, but look at the trend.
Well, last season versus Power 5 opponents, it's 10 games. First quarter, for 10 games, they got off to slow starts. Only 34 points. That is 58 out of 65 last year of the Power 5 teams.
Catch made. And here is the talented freshman, Kalen LeBourne, getting free. He's got tremendous speed. Kalen LeBourne to run. You can see the talent of this 5-star kid from Virginia. Live up to the hype.
Chris, you got to love he is a running back, but has versatility to line up as a wide receiver. They line him out there, just get him the ball in space and let him make people miss. It's exactly what he does there to pick up big yards.
You got 37. Now he's in the game as Akers takes a direct snap, and the running back is dropped right there. Big play by Trevon Hill. Hill, a guy that they weren't sure if he was going to be available, didn't expect him to be, but he cleared up an academic issue, didn't start. Not sure how many snaps he can go, but he is a playmaker when in there.
Well, when Hill is in there, Gaines on the other side as a defensive end, Walker in the middle, gives him a very formidable front four.
Francois, last play of the first quarter maybe, delivers a dart. Gavin, free, down inside the 25. And the Noles are threatening to cut into this 10-point lead as we come to the end of the first quarter. Doug Campbell has come to life. Hokies did a good job silencing them with 2 early scoring drives. You're watching college football on ESPN, presented by Capital One. Taco Bell and the Liv Moss student section. Selection committee on the lookout for passionate fans like these all year long. Holiday weekend, students did a great job. They came back and filled up every seat over there, which is never a given in a Labor Day game. Noles have moved it quickly, 56 yards in 3 plays. As we begin the second quarter, Francois with a pump fake, pressured and drops. Sacked from the blind side by Trevon Hill, who is making an impact.
He sure is. This is just a speed rush. Being able to get to the outside around the left tackle right here just beats him to the edge. Williams tries to get back. The sophomore tries to get back, and they feel that this guy's got a really bright future, but underestimates the speed. Actually, looks like he almost held him there. But Hill, boy, he's going to do that to a lot of left tackles this year in the ACC.
Deja vu for Francois, who took a beating in 2016, his freshman season. 2nd and long, they flip it far side. And that's Trey McKitty, one of the sophomore tight ends. And makes his 2nd career catch. Boy, Kirk, we saw a lot of their games in 2016. Yeah. He was sacked 34 times. He was hit about 200.
Well, yeah, I mean, forget about the sacks. It was the throws after, or the hits after the throws. A lot of the games that we had, whether it was Ole Miss, Clemson, Florida State.
3rd and 15, slings it to the end zone, and a flag comes out for interference as the receiver, Naquan Murray, was tackled. A linebacker, Ladler, was in coverage, and that's a problem.
Yeah, it really looked like Nooney Murray pushed as much as Ladler did.
Number 9, 15-yard penalty.
Watch 8 get his hands up. There's a little push there. They kind of pushed each other. It started with Nooney Murray starting to push. Ladler responded with a push back and a grab of the jersey, and that's what they ended up calling. Ladler's pointing up to the screen saying, can we see that? Because the initial contact, without a doubt, was Murray engaging, but Ladler responding is what the official called by the grab of the jersey.
You can see the replay, but it's not reviewable, so that moves the ball first down on the 13-yard line. Akers in the game. And he is met immediately in the backfield. Swarming in there was Ricky Walker. He's so tough to block in the middle.
He just shot a gap here. The right guard was pulling, and boy, Ricky Walker usually wears number 8. Tonight wearing 25. He gets upfield in a hurry. You better be careful pulling a guard against this Virginia Tech defense with 25 on the other side.
It's an honor to wear that number for Tech. I like him better at 8. I like that single-digit tackle in there.
He's lean, though. He's not a...
For the 5-yard loss, a second down handoff, and you see that this Willie Taggart offense is run heavy. It's a spread, but they like to pound the ball in the middle. Haven't had a whole lot of success. Francois throwing it early, Kirk, 8 for 9 for 98 yards.
Yeah, I mean, we knew 2 years ago the arm strength that he had, and you talked to him tonight during a break about, boy, what incredible velocity are on these throws. And I was talking about his core and his lower body have such strength, and for quarterbacks, they generate so much power, like a pitcher in baseball generates power from their core and lower body.
On 3rd and long, Francois from the pocket, throws to the end zone, juggling catch, touchdown. No, it's incomplete. Gavin thought he had it as he hit the ground. The ball came out. Another one of those quick throws.
Quick release, great accuracy, and then he throws with anticipation. Watch how he leads him in there, right into the teeth of that defense. Ball is perfectly thrown, clearly incomplete, but he couldn't have thrown the ball any better.
He juggled it, had a chance to catch it on the rebound, but the ball clearly came out. Meanwhile, Walker is down for that Hokies defense, now being helped to the far sidelines. Field goal attempt for Florida State coming up. Checking out the knee of senior Ricky Walker as Ricky Aguayo, reliable kicker from inside 40, lines up for a field goal of 32. Finished last year making 18 of his last 19. And it's right over top the upright, but no good. Missed it off to the left, and the Noles failed to cash in after a 64-yard drive.
They go 8 plays, 64 yards, convert a few third downs, drop a touchdown pass. You're thinking that wasn't a great hold. They're thinking at the very least they're going to get a shot to get 3 points, and then he ends up hooking it.
There's a hat cam on 2 officials tonight. The entire ball has to be inside the inside part of that upright as it goes over top. That really wasn't that close, but you make a good point. Gavin had 2 chances to catch a touchdown, couldn't get it done, and now they come up empty.
Yeah, the hold wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. The laces need to be turned completely.
Put that on the kicker. Mike Black here, our spotter and a former Boise State kicker, said you got to put that on the kicker.
Hey, he's on the holder to me. Give me the hold sign.
And Jackson rolls out, play action, has a man running wide open, Eric Kuma, and the physical wide receiver. Another productive play. Flag comes in very, very late. Thrown from 60 yards away at the near sideline.
So you're going to go action here, and then you roll to the right backside. First time they've done this. It's like a levels concept. You have a guy deep, you have a guy short, you have a guy in the mid-range. Defense completely out of position.
Against number 6 of the offense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, somebody spotted Hezekiah Grimsley do something wrong from a long way away. You'll never see a flag thrown from that far from the action. Moves it back 15.
Great first down call, yeah, right there.
Completely needless play and well after the whistle. Moves the ball all the way back inside the 25-yard line. Jackson escapes and is going to be knocked down for a short loss. Brian Burns flew up there with A.J. Westbrook, the safety, helping out.
Not only a great job of getting pressure from the outside, but a good job getting pressure from the middle with Christmas and Wilson. Jackson tries to step up, but he ran right into 21 Wilson, and then the rest of that defense eventually got to Josh Jackson. Said they could not block Brian Burns in camp.
Ball start. Offense. Number 83. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
You know, the Hokies offense really hasn't been stopped. They've stopped themselves on this possession now with mistakes. You have momentum on the road. You get a gift as the Noles failed to score in that last possession, and now they're moving backwards. 2nd and 16. McLeese on a handoff in a very short game, just across the 20. 3rd and very long. DJ and Tavius Jackson made the stop.
Just trying to get more of a manageable 3rd down. Florida State rotating people on and off the field, trying to get their nickel and dime package in there to get more speed on the field. Burns right here.
They barely get lined up. Don't see a lot of teams run tempo in 3rd and long, but the Hokies tried to do it, and Jackson delivers a low throw, incomplete. Would have been short of the 1st down anyway. Good job by Kyle Myers defending.
Incredible how one mistake by Grimsley can affect an entire drive. That was a 1st down call, play action. That concept was a bootleg levels route. They pick up nice, valuable yards. Crowds out of the game. Would have set up probably a decent drive. Instead, penalty sets them back. Now they're playing behind, and Florida State, to their credit, gets them off the field.
Yeah, brain cramp by the wide receiver. Bradburn. That's a good punt. Makes it up and drives the returner back. 49 yards on the punt. Noles still looking for their first points.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy, and Chick-fil-A Nuggets. Tonight is Nugget Night.
Michael Vick, who quarterbacked the Hokies to that championship game in the '99 season, lost a shootout to Florida State in New Orleans. Frank having a little snack in the 2nd quarter, saying our defense is playing well. He likes what he sees because they've had 6 tackles for loss already for 28 negative yards. Good to see that Ricky Walker is back in the game. They checked that knee out. He is good to go in the middle.
That's huge.
Jaquez Patrick is the back. He's got it. They are trying to get wide. He cuts it back and plows forward. They cannot easily find the edge of this defense.
Well, there's 8 guys up in the line of scrimmage, and they're getting penetration. That time, 55 did a good job of getting up in there. Hewitt, undersized nose guard, lines up next to Ricky Walker. He just shot right through.
Ended up getting 3. Patrick fed again. It'll be 3rd down. Maria?
Guys, Deondre Francois has really been trying to rally this entire team on the sideline. He went over to the defense and said, play loose just like you do in practice. He talked to Keith Gavin after that touchdown drop and said, you got it next time. Spent some time with Willie Taggart as well, who's empowered him as a leader and told his offense, we're done making mistakes.
Trying to get 4 yards out of this one, and he delivers a strike, and they do move the 6 to the 45-yard line. That's McKitty, the tight end. You love to see that. He's coming out of his shell. Not naturally the most vocal guy, Kirk, and he wasn't around the team when he was hurt last year.
Right.
Hard to be a leader.
Willie Taggart really challenged him on that, to try to be around, be on campus, hang out with the guys.
From the pocket, miscommunication. The throw is going to be ruled incomplete. Bounced right in front of Caleb Farley, but not on the same page with the receiver that time.
Florida State 3 of 5 now on 3rd down, which you would think would lead them to more opportunities to put points on the board.
He struggled last year, 100th in the FBS 3rd down conversions last year.
You know, Maria said that, you know, that coach is saying, hey, loosen up, play like you know, this is a, you know, not practice, play with some energy, have some fun. And one thing I see is you get down 7-0 in the blink of an eye. That's the first sign of adversity. How do you respond from that?
Another quick throw. Ball comes out with such velocity. Tamorrion Terry makes his first catch, redshirt freshman, and they're in Hokies territory, 3rd and short now.
That's an example of Francois just seeing soft coverage and coming off of it. There's a run-pass option where he can make that throw. Look at the 3 receivers, trips down here to the bottom, into the boundary.
You need 3, and off and running. Patrick in the secondary. They finally test the middle with success against this defense. First time.
Patrick with some room to run. Use that formation to get the defense out wide as they can. In fact, Rivers had to move out there where the receivers were all the way to the boundary. It gave him just enough room to cut underneath that to pick up the first down.
They got 17. Trevon Hill down on the field for Virginia Tech. Take a timeout. Check out the alternate angle Xfinity Skycam tonight, streaming live on ESPN3, on the ESPN app, and Xfinity X1. Seminoles, 1st and 10 on the 31-yard line. Francois from the pocket delivers a throw downfield into traffic, a collision, and no flag. DJ Matthews ran into the DB, but no foul.
They lined him up in the backfield. He's a wide receiver, but they looked for a matchup on a wheel route, try to get him to run against the linebacker. The only problem is Diablo comes over the safety, so he got behind 44. Rivers. Progressive Pyland Cam took a shot. Hopefully it's okay.
We're fixing it right now. Right down there.
That's it.
Technicians on the job. Patrick in the game on 2nd and 10. 4 receiver set. They look far side, trying to get some blocks for Nooney Murray. Cuts it back in. Nooney spinning free. Naquan Murray headed for the end zone. And they'll spot him down at the 1. Watch the ball as the knee hits right. Well, his hip, he actually landed on a defender. I don't think he ever was down.
No, they need to stop that. That's a touchdown.
The Noles are lined up. They could get him to stop it if they didn't play fast. And now they misfire. Are you kidding me?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness. The ACC crew.
69. 5-yard penalty.
I mean, they were slow to buzz down and stop that to take a look at it. The Noles should have been a little patient. They could have gotten a touchdown on that Murray play. Now they're going to be outside the 5-yard line.
Sometimes you see offenses go fast if they think that they might have fumbled the ball or had a problem. They tend to go fast. But in this case, they should have taken their time there. Allowed the crew to make sure that they saw it. But it looked to me and you that he came down on the defender and ended up breaking the plane for a touchdown.
That could end up being huge. If they can't punch it in here on the end around, Mooney another chance and stopped right there. Well, Dave Kataya, our rules experts in the booth, this was never reviewed, Dave, but what do you think of this play?
It needed to be reviewed for 2 reasons. One, as you guys stated, he looked like he was on a body of an opponent, not on the ground. So anything other than a hand or foot that goes down on the ground. Now, right there, he looks like he's on an opponent. The point is, you got to look at it. Now, they could have looked at it even after the false start until the next legal snap.
Oh, they could have after the false.
Because there was a false start, you can review until the ball is next legally snapped.
Man, another look at it here.
Watch his calf, like
watch
his shin. His leg doesn't touch. It looks like it's going to. The leg never touches. And his backside is on top of the defender. I thought maybe his shin might have come down, but nothing touched.
It's very, very close. Point is, you've got to take a look at this.
And the fact that they had another chance to look at it after the false start and still didn't do it. 2nd and goal, Xavier Burke, the backup nose tackles, taken off to the Hokie sidelines.
Well, the way this offensive line's playing, it's going to be. They're not going to be able to run the ball. I'd be surprised if they run the ball. They're going to have to throw the ball to get it in there.
Empty backfield. 5 receivers for Francois to choose from. And now Patrick motions back in. They fake it to him. It's a quarterback run. Francois, all he can do was escape to get back to the line of scrimmage. Reggie Floyd stopped him. It's third down.
We've talked about Ricky Walker all night, but I'm telling you, Jared Hewitt, the sophomore out of Florida, he's from Venice. He's in the backfield in the blink of an eye tonight. The two inside guys are holding their own and winning. It's making it very hard to do anything when it comes to running the football because of that penetration.
Now we'll see if that lack of review costs the Seminoles points. Francois asking for quiet. Play action. Francois trying to buy time. To the edge. Cuts it back. Still looking. High throw over everybody's head. Terry from the corner pressured. And the Noles are stopped. And here comes another field goal attempt. And that
Virginia
failure to review does cost them points.
Cost them the touchdown. They rush 3, drop 8, and Francois has nowhere to go. See the push that they get. He tries to get to the left, but look at the receivers. I mean, look at the coverage. Look at all the white jerseys in the end zone. He has nowhere to go with the football. So instead of blitzing and coming after him, they go the opposite and get sink 8 in coverage.
Aguayo missed just left from 32. Has this from 22 on the right hash and knocks it through. So Florida State on the board after a 65-yard drive, but should have been in the end zone. Flying in there was Janarius Robinson off the edge, a tackle for loss.
Janarius Robinson has been playing a lot for Ahmad. Watch him right here shoot. Between he and Burns on the other side, that guard's trying to come around to pick him up fast. But because they were blitzing and getting upfield, that's another indication for Florida State fans the difference between the system last year and what you're going to see this year. A lot more upfield. In that case, that's 5 yards.
Got upfield a little too quick.
Yeah.
But this defense with Harlan Barnett, 11 years at Michigan State. Hokies face a similar defense when they play Pitt
Offsides.
in the ACC.
Defense, number 11, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Of course, Pat Narduzzi coming from East Lansing to Pittsburgh. So they were looking back and seeing how they did against the Panthers defense a couple of years.
Yep.
First time really well. Last year they won, but not very productive day against that swarming defense.
Yeah.
So it's 2nd and 8. Jackson with the football, delivers over the middle in traffic, and it was through the hands of a Florida State defender near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it was a nice job of deflecting that. Corey Durden, 16, is a freshman out of Newberry, Florida. He's coming around the right side of the offensive line, and he can't get to the quarterback, so he gets his left hand up. Give him credit there for knocking that ball away. He had an open receiver. If he doesn't knock that away, that's a completion.
After a very hot start, Jackson has cooled off some. Needs 8 on 3rd down. Noles crowding that line, showing pressure. Now 8 defenders on the line of scrimmage. Jackson from the pocket across the middle. Catch is made. Did he get the first down, though? Phil Patterson had yardage, sort of retreated, and they're going to spot it, I think, just short, Kirk, out near midfield.
He's right at that line. That's on the receiver to make sure he's running that route on 3rd and 8. He's got to get just beyond the line of scrimmage or get beyond that first down marker, and then the ball will be able to be caught and you can be tackled and pushed back and have a first down. See how he crosses? He comes back to the ball. By the time he caught it, he was right at the line or just a little bit behind it.
Good job by Kyle Myers. Fuente not in a gambling mood near midfield. And Bradburn hoops it up very high. And Matthews makes the fair catch inside the 10. Monday Night Football back on ESPN. The annual doubleheader to kick off the season. The Jets and the Lions. Sam Darnold starting for the Jets. Did you think he was going to be an opening day starter? MSC.
No.
Rams and Raiders at 10:15. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 5 o'clock. 43-yard punt by the Aussie. And the Noles, 5:18 before halftime. trying to further cut into this 7-point lead. Francois has been sharp tonight. Cam Akers, the running back, is to the right side of the formation. 3 receivers to the left. Akins motions back in and has the football. Slips as he cuts, and a hard hit delivered there. Bryce Watts came off the corner.
Yeah, these Virginia Tech defensive backs, these corners especially, known for their ability to try to cover, but Bud Foster demands that they get involved and be very good in run support, kind of hold that edge, and that's what Watts did, the sophomore.
I think Robert Porcher the fourth came in there to clean it up. Francois pressured and sacked back at the 2-yard line. That's Trevon Hill again invading the backfield. And now a flag is down. And the Hokies get upset. Now they're signaling that it's on Florida State. We'll see. Trevon Hill, who was a question mark coming in, has been an exclamation point.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 69. Penalties half the distance to the goal line. Yeah. 3rd down.
Well, after the offense.
Well, after the play, the right tackle, Landon Dickerson. Look how quick these guys are getting in the progressive pylon cam. Hill, again, just too quick for Williams. Watch him get around. He's getting to his point, getting the bend. The bend is what's really unique with that quickness to be able to get around Williams. They're going to have to start chipping to try to slow him down on that left side. But Dickerson pushed Virginia Tech player DuBose well after the whistle and got the penalty.
What do you got on 3rd and 18 from the 1? They'll throw and get it out to McKitty, and the tight end at least gives the punter some room as he gets out near the 15.
It's hard to call plays when you're getting whipped at the line of scrimmage. It's just, I mean, it's one, you can try to get the ball out with the run pass option, try to get it out to the perimeter, get the ball out quick, but to be able to be consistently able to move the ball against a Bud Foster defense, you've got to do a better job at the line of scrimmage.
Greg Stroman was a terrific punt returner. It's blocked. Beamer ball strikes again, and the Hokies score off the block punt. Chris Cunningham came in to block it, and Eric Kuma, one of the receivers, said thank you very much.
Well, they stressed this week, week 1, how important special teams will be. They always are for Virginia Tech. But look at that jailbreak. There are guys getting through there. Cunningham, the tight end, gets in, gets a hand on it. Ball goes straight up into the air. And the wide receiver, the junior Kuma, is able to catch it in the air and walk into the end zone.
And the man who set the tone for decades of excellent special teams play, Frank Beamer, watching. Will always be called Beamer ball when the special teams of the Hokies make a play. That was an enormous one as Tech stretches the lead to 2 touchdowns with halftime approaching.
When's the last time you saw a tight end block a punt?
Hokie special teams having a little fun over there as they take the block punt made by a tight end, collected by a receiver, and they have taken command here late 2nd quarter. And it's a deep boot and a touchback. This blimp-worthy play brought to you by Goodyear, but the rule's going to come into play here because Cunningham made the block. Now he's allowed to run into the punter, but Quillen, number 26, is the guy that made contact with Tyler. Dave?
My mic's okay. The guy that hits the ball, that blocks the ball, can hit the kicker.
Cunningham.
Right. And you see that 85 is the one that blocked the kick.
Yeah. And 26 Quillen runs into
exactly.
Him, depending on the call. So you're saying that that would negate the block, and it would have been at the very least either running into or a personal foul.
Correct.
Wow.
Quillen is a punt block specialist. He had a couple himself last year. That time it was Cunningham. So now Francois trying to answer. Takes a downfield shot. Nobody open, and it's an interception. Forced in there, and Caleb Farley makes the pick. FSU fan growing up, high school quarterback, and there's an emotional celebration on that side because his teammates know what that play means to him.
First of all, you're trying to pick on the fastest defensive back on the team. They're looking for a big play after the block punt. How about how he uses his body against a big wide receiver, Gavin. Keep in mind, Farley, Chris, you said he's a former wide receiver, had an ACL last year. They move him to corner, and he runs stride for stride with the big receiver, Gavin, uses his body to prevent him from getting to the ball, and then goes up, finds it, and makes the play.
Farley, who wanted to make a big play tonight to honor his mom, who was lost to cancer back in January, has done that. Now Jackson and the Hokies trying to add to the lead. Last two Seminole plays, a block punt and a pick. Understand why Francois would make the force, as you see the young man now there, number 3, the redshirt freshman from Hickory, North Carolina.
What a special moment for him.
ACL tear in camp, so the whole year blown. He's waited a long time for this. And 2nd and 10, Jackson has protection and lofts it downfield. Really no chance to make a play over there because Meyer has defended well. Maria?
His mother, and she had breast cancer when he was a sophomore. A year later, it metastasized to her bones. And talking to Caleb, he said, we just knew that it was coming, and he plays every single day for his mom. He wants a kickoff return, but any play that he makes, he said he's going to jump up and point to the stars for Robin Fairley.
Maria, thank you. She would have been proud of that play. It's loud for Jackson. He needs 10 on 3rd down. Play clock winding down. Fires over the head of a couple of defenders. He was trying to get the ball to Cunningham, who just made the block punt, but it's a 3 and out.
Yeah, he kind of locked in on Cunningham and threw that ball into double coverage. Levante Taylor almost went up, sitting in zone, just reading the quarterback's eyes. This is the first time tonight he kind of telegraphed, looking at Cunningham the whole way. See how Taylor came off of his man, steps in front of it. He goes up and makes that catch. It's a foot race to the end zone.
Well, the Noles defense does its job after the interception to get the football right back. It's another good kick by Bradburn and a fair catch made. 44 yards on the punt. ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Hampton by Hilton. Talked about that Clemson Texas A&M game. Intriguing ACC SEC matchup. Folks from both these conferences and tend to go up when you get that collision. Jimbo and Dabo. What's your read on that one? Clemson too good?
Oh,
I know you can't pick because you're going to call it.
Yeah, obviously a great defense. Cannot wait to see Kelly Bryant in that setting. And also Jimbo Fisher. I mean, Trevion Williams had a great start. His talented running back, Kellen Mond, played well. Setting up pretty nicely for a big-time intersectional matchup.
3.5 to go before halftime as the Noles hand the ball off to Jacquez Patrick. And you look at the power of this guy. He's tough to bring down out across the 40. And that's a good drive starter, 18 yards.
That's the kind of run you need. Tremendous effort, gets his hand down, keeps going, picks up big yards here. Noles are thinking touchdown. Remember, they get the ball to start the second half.
Patrick's out there with 4 receivers stacked to the right. Francois pump fake, looking downfield, lofts it, and a leaping catch is made by Terry inside the Hokies 30.
Well, early in the game, they threw a pass with that quad look, and see how 9 right there? Ladler, he jumped it. This time they're back. They're in position. Watts goes up, but the bigger Terry's able to go up and time his leap perfectly and go up and make the play. That ball is thrown into coverage, but you just rely on your receiver at 6'4" to go up and make a play on the football. And we've got another Virginia Tech player down.
And you got boos from the crowd because they think this is a jaded attempt to stop the Noles from running tempo. We won't speculate on that. Noles got to have a couple of 6'4", 6'5" wide receivers. They've always had some great size, and there are a lot of small, fast guys, but Terry is a dude who can go up and get it.
Sure is. It's 6'4", too, Chris.
Xavier Burke being helped off for the 2nd time tonight. It does grind the tempo down effectively. Florida State set up at the 28.
Let's go back and look at Burke to see what he's dealing with here. He's right in the middle, 43 at the nose. See what he ends up dealing with there. Yeah. I think he just got a call and he went down.
He's dealing with a 32-yard gain.
I'm just saying, now, it's not against the rules by rule against tempo, but it's unethical. You just don't like to see it.
Should be against the rules. Patrick barrels ahead for a couple of yards. Look, we've seen plenty of this, and it's hard to tell a guy you're not hurt, but there wasn't even close to anything that you'd think.
No, and not only that, he started to go work his way down the field, and he looked over like, oh, what, me? My turn. I got you.
Continue to play fast, and they pressure. Francois dumps it down. Patrick, head over heels, knocked down at the 20 by Houshun Gaines. Wow, it'll be 3rd and 2.
Patrick is known as a power back. I'm going to tell you something. That's a great play by the defense, but Patrick just feels different. They said he's had a great camp, and he's a great complement to the other backs that they have in that backfield.
Now Akers is in there. They hand him the football on 3rd and 2. He has to reverse field, and he loses a yard. So 4th and 3. And see if Taggart's going to play for 3. As now there are 2 Hokies down. And here come more boos. That's Walker for the 2nd time. Right next to a teammate.
Watch.
You can see the 2nd number.
You don't want to speculate on every time a Hokie player goes down.
This is a very different situation.
This time Ricky
here.
Walker, he gets his head. 2 players hit. It's like helmet to helmet. Both of them colliding.
Yeah, it's a couple of teammates. Walker and Reggie Floyd, the rover, came in there and collided. Both are still down.
Keep in mind, Ricky Walker's 300 pounds, and he moves like a linebacker. Floyd at 222, and those two in the air collide.
It's 4th and a very long 2, Kirk. What do you think Taggart's thinking?
Can't run the ball.
So you think
just throw that away?
3? You're down by 14 here. You do get the ball to start the 2nd half. You take a chance and try to, cut the lead to 10 with a touchdown. Both guys, thankfully, up and walking off.
I'd be surprised if he didn't go for it, personally.
Yep, offense out there.
You get down in these areas, you got to try to get some points. And it's been a rough first half.
And you have 2 Hokie defensive starters, Walker and Floyd, not in there in this play. As you said, they have not consistently run the football. Akers, the running back, is out in the slot. Motions back. They're trying to get him to just jump offside here. They'll snap it. Francois deflected at the line of scrimmage. Gaines came off the edge and spoiled it. The receiver was open, but it's a stop for Tech's defense.
Well, the offensive line slides to the left. Nobody picks up Gaines. They're going to slide this way to pick up the linebacker. Nobody picks up the defensive end. He goes up in the air untouched. That's an athlete going up and making a play at 6'3", 235. Gaines long and quick, and that time shows you the hand-eye coordination to be able to time that up and knock it down at a crucial moment in this first half for both teams.
Akers could have made the catch and been very close to first down yardage. But the gamble doesn't pay off. The lead is still 14. Now a minute 39. Tech has all 3 timeouts. And off to McLeese. He turns the corner for about a 5-yard gain.
It's a big drive for both these teams. I mean, 17-3, 24-3 sounds a lot different if you're Florida State.
For the Noles, have missed a field goal, a couple of turnovers, had a punt blocked, and now stopped on downs at the 21-yard line.
0 for 2 in the red zone, no points.
And no urgency from Tech here. Fuente content to take a 14-point lead to the locker room, just letting the play clock wind down on this 2nd and 5 play. Makes sense. Play clock at 2. And it's Jackson trying to keep it. He's going to be spun down at the 25. Will the Noles spend a timeout here? No, they will. It'll be 3rd down. Florida State still with 2 more timeouts. Would at least force a punt. Maybe have a chance to make 1 or 2 plays on offense.
Sure. Yeah. Once Willie Taggart saw that Justin Fuente was content, I think the logic and the strategy changed for Florida State with those 3 timeouts. Instead of holding on to get at halftime 17-3, they're thinking about trying to get stops and getting the ball back to Francois in that offense. At least trying to get 3 points.
The Noles have generated 228 yards. 195 of it through the air. No balance.
No,
but only 3 points to show for it.
33 yards on the ground.
Bud Foster's defense, with all those new faces, the least experienced returning group he's ever had, acquitted themselves pretty well. They've given up some yards, but they've made some huge key plays in big moments of this half.
Sure have. And that block punt also. I mean, that was a big-time play for Virginia Tech and a killer for Florida State.
Justin Fuente, that's as excited as he can get. He's a pretty low-key guy on the sideline, but he went galloping down there, celebrating the special teams play. See if the Hokies run the ball, force the Noles to spend that second timeout. It's a deep handoff, and Florida State does make the tackle right there. Brian Burns got him, and they will spend the timeout with 42 seconds before the half. Well, there's so many questions. You come into this, you've got a new coaching staff at Florida State, completely different offense. Francois coming back after an injured season. On the Hokies side, all those new faces trying to learn a pretty gnarly, complicated defense, and so far, the Taggart era has not produced offensively what everybody in here hoped for.
No, but the story to me has been Virginia Tech's defense. I mean, they had some experience at the defensive line, but really on the back end, you look at their linebackers and corners. The guys tonight are playing their first snaps collectively as a whole group, and they could not have hoped for a better first half against a quarterback like DeAndre Francois. Interesting, you go to halftime and make some adjustments, but as you and I continue to talk about, Florida State at the line of scrimmage, they're losing that battle this entire first half. Makes it hard to be balanced and have just enough in that run game.
33 rushing yards for a high boot by Bradburn. No return by DJ Matthews. So 35 seconds and 1 timeout to work with. Take a look at Do More in a Jiffy, brought to you by Jiffy Lube.
Yeah, look how quickly they are pursuing the football, how fast they're running to the ball. It's just kind of something we've seen the entire first half. The penetration, able to get into that backfield, both the inside guys, Hewitt and Walker. And when Florida State's been down in that red zone, Virginia Tech has made it very tough for them, as I said. Getting upfield, getting off of blocks, playing with an aggressive attitude, and really being dialed in, considering so many guys making their first starts on the road in a conference game.
Need about 35 yards to give Ricky Aguayo a reasonable chance at a field goal. Francois with the big arm can certainly launch the ball downfield in a hurry. Steps up, pursued, and will just dive down at the 30. So now with the clock ticking down, you figure the Noles have to spend their final timeout. Not what they were looking for in the first play. Actually, they haven't yet called a timeout.
No, they haven't.
The clock is ticking down, 16-15.
Trying to get the ball to Nooney Murray down the middle of the field.
The throw bounces. That was a play with 8 seconds to go. They probably should have just spent a timeout. Actually, you wonder if maybe Francois should have just thrown it away. Getting tackled in the field of play really killed the chance.
Well, now you probably just want to run the ball, and the only problem is Virginia Tech may call a timeout, and after blocking one punt, may try to come after
Good point. Yeah, you'd love to try to throw a Hail Mary down there, but you're right. If you don't use all 8 seconds, you would have to punt. We go far side. This is Nooney Murray. He's got some space, but he has got no more time, and he'll be tackled as the first half ends. Virginia Tech, new faces playing big on defense. Scored in their first 2 possessions, and then the block punt for a touchdown, a review that didn't happen, as the Noles tempo cost them a chance to perhaps get in the end zone. Had to settle for 3 in that possession. So even though there's a healthy yardage edge for the Seminoles, they find themselves down by 2 touchdowns. Maria?
All right, Coach, we saw some mistakes in the first half. How do you help this team gain composure coming out into the second?
Well, we just got to get ourselves together. Like you say, there's too many mistakes, too many turnovers and penalties that's killing ourselves right now. We just got to calm down and regroup and go out there and execute the plays.
You get the ball back when you come out for the second half. What do you want to improve upon on offense?
Well, I want our guys to execute. You know, it's too many minimal mistakes, too many things we're doing ourselves. We got to go out and execute the way we know how.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
6 penalties. Those 2 turnovers, the missed field goal and the miscue by the punt team. Noles will get it to start the second half. 17-3 halftime score. Halftime report with Adnan, Joey, and Jesse coming up right after these messages. Buzz in this thick, humid air tonight. Doak Campbell Stadium, as it should be. Set for the second half. College football on ESPN presented by Capital One. Hokies with a lot of new faces come on the road. They run 7 fewer plays, gain 66 fewer yards, but they are +2 in turnovers and have the block punt for a touchdown. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, and Maria Taylor. So if you're Willie Taggart, your offense has moved the ball but hasn't cashed in, hasn't run it at all. What's the plan for the second half? They'll get it here soon.
Yeah, they get the ball, and I think you got to go back to DeAndre Francois with some of those vertical seams, some of the crossing routes downfield. That's where Florida State seemed to be able to move the ball the best. Their running game, if they can go back to trying to kind of mix it in, but they can't get east and west against the speed of this defense. They've got to try to get upfield to have any chance at all. But this is such a big drive to just, after the adjustments made at halftime, get themselves to believe that they can put points on the board.
Maybe a few more touches for this guy who doesn't take the kickoff back. Kalen LeBourne gained 37 in the first half with his first offensive play. Maria.
Hey, Chris, Justin Fuente coming out of the locker room said that his biggest focus was making sure the youth and inexperience on his team understands they still have to finish. He said they're excited and they're playing well, but he wants them to stay composed. Defensively, what he likes that he's seeing is they're getting a lot of pressure on DeAndre Francois and this offense and also handing the athletes on the perimeter. He said we have to continue to handle their tempo and athletes.
Maria, it's good stuff. It's been impressive. You think that Mook Reynolds dismissed from the team. A senior would have been a key guy in this defense. Adonis Alexander, supplemental draft. The 2 Edmonds brothers, first rounders. And all these new faces for the Hokies are swarming and making a big play for a loss is Divine Diablo, the safety.
Yeah, that's a typical Bud Foster move to get the safeties up. Diablo is a free safety, long, very athletic. It's their 9th tackle for a loss tonight.
Wow.
And they've been able to get tackles for a loss without bringing their safeties down inside, close to the line of scrimmage, into that boxed area.
It's figured to be one of Foster's most challenging seasons in his 24th as the DC, but off to an excellent start tonight. More work to do, though. Second down, long throw by Francois off the hands of Nooney.
I guess on paper you could say a challenging year for Bud Foster, but if you look at having, especially in the interior, Ricky Walker back, I think that's a starting point because of his leadership, the way he shows up every day and sets the bar for work ethic. But a lot of these young guys, I think, are as good, if not better, than the athletes they've had on the field the last couple of years. It's just a matter of them picking up this system and creating some confidence, which I'm sure they did there in that first half.
Both Walker and Reggie Floyd, who collided and went off the field, they're in the game now. Noles need 15 on third down. Francois delivers. Bobble catch by Murray in heavy traffic. Did collect it, but knocked down 5 yards short of the first down. And it's a 3 and out.
Yeah, he got hit again as he threw that. DeAndre Francois on the left side. He's getting so much pressure with Williams.
Limping off his Landon Dickerson, Kirk, the tackle.
Yeah, Williams matched up against Hill is a no contest. They're going to have to chip, and you're right, Dickerson limping off. He was able to get off the field.
It's an offensive line known as better run blockers than pass blockers. They have not lived up to that tonight. Miller boots it and effectively keeps it away from C.J. Carroll. There's a collision down there as the ball rolled out of bounds. No flag. So Josh Jackson, got off. They made some very safe throws. They went down, scored a touchdown on the first possession. Finishes up 9 for 19.
Well, the first drive, he was on fire. They went right down the field. 8 or 9 plays, 75 yards. He didn't miss a pass and looked like, he was going to have a big night. You can see since then, he's 4 or 5 on an opening drive since then. It's not been the same. And give credit some of that to Florida State, Harlan Barnett, some of the adjustments they've made, and playing better coverage on the outside.
Noles defense did a better job in the second quarter. For the Hokies the Noles head spinning in the first couple series. Hand off inside, and Brian Burns made the tackle on McLeese.
That counter play was a big part of that opening drive. They were running and throwing. That was by far their best drive they've had of the night. And it was just a mix of a lot of different looks, some running, some passing. Florida State, considering the 2018 season just starting, the first drive you got to defend, it was a lot of versatility they had to deal with.
Terrius Wheatley came in motion. That drew one of the Noles to jump into the neutral zone and cause a Hokie to flinch. So it's 5 yards against Florida State.
5-yard penalty. Second down.
Myers a little eager. Mental mistakes have been a huge problem for the Noles. Tiffany Knight Tiger talked about it. Makes it a 2nd and 1. Jackson take this opportunity to take a downfield shot. They'd hope to get more big pass yard plays this season. This is Wheatley around the edge, first down, and Terrius Wheatley had a great camp and showed he's ready to contribute. Good gain inside the 45.
Picks up a block by Cunningham. He used 2 backs in that backfield. You see McLeese tonight running a lot. He's leading the way, but it was really the block by the tight end. That first couple of drives, I talked about how easy it was for Virginia Tech to gain the edge, get to the outside, and pick up yards. That's exactly what they were able to do there with Wheatley.
15 for the son of the Wolverine greats. Now Jackson, a first down slant, and it is complete over the middle to Hazelton. And the Hokies are threatening to add to this 2-touchdown lead.
You see the linebacker right here go with the back, and that's going to open up a very nice little easy throw for Jackson. See how he clears that passing lane by playing man and running out with the back. Josh Jackson in tune, locked in, makes the read and the easy throw, and love to see that receiver that time, Hazelton, using all hands to bring that ball in.
Noles crowding the line, anticipating a run, but breaking free for a brief bit was McLeese. Saving a bigger gain was Nasruddin. Got 5, and they're going to play quick here. High snap over Jackson's head. Tries to collect it back at the 42.
Just airmailed that. Zachariah Hoyt, the center, just throws that up and over the quarterback. Jackson never had a chance to be able to come up with that football. He's fortunate he's able to jump back on top of it.
A 14-yard loss when they were clicking and had momentum, had the Noles defense on their heels.
They sensed that. That's why they were going with the tempo.
Complete drive changer. It's 3rd and 18 now. Jackson flushed, chased, sacked back in Hokie territory by Brian Burns. Number 99. They have a monster year.
He's been going outside. This time, instead of going outside, he gives a move to the outside against Darrisaw, a true freshman who's in there at left tackle, and spins back to the inside. You're a true freshman on an island against Brian Burns. You cheat to the outside as a left tackle, assuming he's going out there. He gives you the spin move to the inside. Nothing you can do.
They had the ball at the Seminole 27, end the drive at their own 47. Losing 24 yards in 2 plays. Bradburn again pins the Noles deep. Monster punt. And welcome back. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Two teams eager to battle for titles in their respective divisions. Last 4 years, Willie Taggart 3 at USF when he had Quentin Flowers, the fine quarterback, and then the 1 year at Oregon. See, they averaged 38 a game. Ducks offense, Kirk, last year they had 6 300-yard rushing games. This is a run-first offense, but Patrick is dropped for yet another tackle for loss. Maria?
So for Florida State to battle back into this, you can see Willie Taggart trying to keep his team together. I saw him bring the entire offense together in the first half, and he said that's something that was missing a season ago. When he got on campus, he felt like this was a team that was fractured. He made them eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner together. If they get in fights, they walk around the field holding hands. He's trying to bring them back together right now.
Well, they had confusion. The Hokies were not lined up. They get it to Patrick in the flat, but Tech did not have a man over those receivers out to the right.
And the previous play, every time they pull a lineman, they're in trouble. And now after the loss, now they're trying to line up quickly. Look at Virginia Tech, the youth looking over, trying to get the call. That was their biggest fear tonight, not being able to get lined up against this up-tempo offense with a lot of so many new faces in the secondary and at linebacker.
New faces doing just fine. Third and 13. Francois from the end zone. Pump fake delivers a low throw. No chance really for Helton to make a play.
Bud is doing an incredible job of just having a feel for this offense and knowing when to blitz and knowing when to mix in coverage. Third down, he's shown some blitzes. This third down, deep in their own territory, instead of coming after Francois, rushes 3, drops 8, and there's Francois back there. Hitch, 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 nowhere to go with the ball because of everybody being covered.
They came after Logan Tyler and got it last time. This time he gets it off in a hurry, but it's a very low punt and not a great one. So Virginia Tech up 14 midway second quarter will take over near the Florida State 40. It's a 36-yard kick.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Chevy, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall.
Got a lot of Florida State defensive greats to choose from. Derek Brooks, first ballot Pro Football Hall of Famer. And, of course, Mickey Anders, the defensive coordinator for Bowden for years. Like Bobby, not around this program when Jimbo Fisher was the coach, but welcome back by Taggart. Look at Mickey out there surveying the defense like he's still in charge.
He sure is. Great to see him back with his program.
And Florida State needs a play on defense as the Hokies take over from the 40, the plus 40. Jalen Holston, haven't seen him carry the ball yet tonight, and he's got it, and the Noles stack him up for no gain.
Virginia Tech starting here in plus territory, real opportunity. I guess you could say a knockout punch, but it's a real opportunity with the way their defense is playing to really separate themselves from Florida State and affect the psyche of the Noles.
Jackson play action, swarmed and sacked back near midfield. Corey Durden is a backup tackle, got him.
We're used to talking to you about Burns, but Durden's in here. And second time now he's been able to just get around with quickness. You know, his background, he's nimble enough to be moved inside or outside, but keep talking a lot about Florida State's offensive line struggling with some quickness from Virginia Tech. And we've also seen Burns have some success and Durden as well, getting in there and getting after Josh Jackson.
And he was quick for 290.
Yeah.
So now it's another 3rd and a mile. They need 18. Big theme all night. A handoff. Olsen break a tackle. It's a hard run, but they get back to the original line of scrimmage, and it'll be 4th down. So you figure that Bradburn will try to pin the Noles back deep again. Special teams have been strong for Tech, and his punts have been a big part of it.
Noles got to be really careful there with almost a penalty there with a swing by a Florida State player after the play.
Some still going on
back and forth. Justin Fuente fired up with a couple of those Virginia Tech players trying to get them off the field.
Bradburn kicks it very high, drops the tip, and in traffic they make a fair catch out at the 12-yard line. So Florida State's defense does its job. The offense not yet on track tonight. Sports hitter right after the game in Tallahassee, Scott Van Pelt. All the thoughts on week 1. Nick Saban speaks about the quarterback situation. That's a fresh topic. Nick will enjoy that. SVP's bad beats of the weekend, also on the ESPN app. Knowles once again poor field position after the punt. Akers is the back. And Francois on first down, pressured, and it's going to be dropped. It's another tackle for loss. Caleb Farley came off the edge.
They mixed up their look there. Caught Florida State napping. Even surprised DeAndre Francois, where they bring the corner on the other side and they drop the near side defensive end. He has no idea that Farley, the fastest guy on his team, is coming in from behind and eventually gets to him.
Had the pick earlier. Big night for the freshman in his first game. Now they try to get Akers loose, and he's going to lose another yard. Trevon Hill made the play.
I really like, again, this defense. There are a lot of new faces. Bud Foster rotating bodies. We've seen 5 defensive ends. Taiwan Garbett is in right now, number 45. Jared Hewitt is a future star in the middle of this defense next to Ricky Walker. Ricky Walker gets some double teams. It frees up 55 to make plays. Hill is, of course, making plays. Gaines. So really good-looking front for Virginia Tech.
Akers limped off. Patrick in the game. On 3rd down and 12. Francois gets a 3-man rush. Is still going to be knocked down. Tripped over an offensive lineman. And is a little slow in getting up. Boy, if they're going to get pressure with 3, if they're going to squeeze the pocket with 3, you got no chance.
He's been mixing that in, and it's worked. Why change it up? The last time they had him in 3rd down and long, they rushed 3. They're getting enough pressure to make him uneasy, but he falls right over top of the right tackle, Dickerson, as you said, Chris. But rushing 3, dropping 8 in zone. There's 4 guys out running routes, and you're going to be able to shut that down. He's just holding on to the ball.
Tyler boots it to Carroll. Boy, he's going to make the catch at the 37 of the Noles. Makes a cut. Still on his feet and spun down. And the offensive possession for Tech will start in the red zone.
Willie Taggart's raising his hands because I think he thought that his punter was rough. Logan Tyler. Take a peek at this. That was the instant reaction.
And Tyler had one blocked earlier and contact was made. There's a little contact there. Would have been of the 5-yard variety, you'd have to believe, even if they had thrown a flag.
Yeah,
Willen,
I think that's a little bit more active.
The second time he's made contact with the punter. He's the guy that bumped him on the block by Cunningham. 16-yard punt return. Another challenge for this Noles defense.
Well, they've kept him in the game with some stops.
They got to stop here. It'd be nearly miraculous. Peoples is the back. Rolls out. They fling far side. And receiver Grimsley is open. And he's got a first down or close to it inside the 10.
Now against man, that's a really good route. 2 guys on the outside to 3 receiver side. Go downfield. The inside guy just goes to the boundary. Easy read, easy throw, and tough to cover for that inside guy in man coverage.
Just short of a first down, so 2nd and 1.
Remember, Hazelton at the bottom with his size advantage against Taylor has been a matchup they've liked, where he puts it straight up in the air.
Instead, it's a keeper for Jackson as the Noles ignore the window dressing and stop him for a loss. It'll be 3rd and 3 now.
Good job of getting off those blocks and getting penetration. Adonis Thomas, the junior linebacker out of Atlanta.
You hold them to a field goal here. It's still just a 17-point game. That would be a huge win for this defense. This is Wheatley motioning back. Handoff straight ahead, and they muscle forward. Peoples very close to the marker at the 9. Fuente fired up as he takes the headset off to deliver some kind of message. It is a first down.
Sending a message to one of the officials. Virginia Tech not in a hurry. Again, I keep talking about how Hazelton at 6'2", who can go up in the air and make plays, is matched up down there at the bottom against Taylor. Nice to see how they keep mixing in McLeese and Peoples. Keep them both fresh.
Run all the way, Jackson. Hammered at the 5-yard line.
Now they'll run him just enough to make you have to respect it and know that it's to be aware that he's a threat to run the football. A running quarterback affects the defense. You have to have your eyes and be aware. A lot of quarterbacks aren't threats. It makes it easier to defend. You don't have to count for him as a number or count your numbers as defensive in that box area. But if you know he's a threat, it can affect it and affect the coverage you have to play in.
He ran for a lot of first downs in big moments last year. Ran for 324 his freshman season. Play action. Luke throw to the end zone. Jump ball. Touchdown. Flag comes in. Kuma caught it, but he also shoved before he made the catch. Myers is knocked backwards.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 83. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
That was one of your more obvious offensive pass interference calls.
Yeah,
Kuma just muscled the little guy.
6'2", 225, and just throws Myers at 175 pounds. I think 3 flags came in on that one. Dave Kataya threw one from up here.
Yeah, that's a significant weight advantage there. 225 versus 175. It's 50 pounds by my math.
It's the hat cam. This is the guy, one of the guys who threw the flag.
He made that look easy, that shove.
Yeah.
So touchdown taken off. Ball spotted back at the 20. Where it's second and goal. Hat cam. The official got that one.
Sweet.
Jackson has a clean pocket for a while and fires underneath. And the catch is made by Kuma. Back at the 11-yard line. It'll be third and goal from there.
No pass rush at all there. Nobody gets close to him. I mean, he was sitting back there in that pocket. Looks left, comes back right, go back to the middle. Eventually comes back. He looked at 3 different receivers until he finally made up his mind. And look at the fatigue. These guys have been asked to do a lot. They've been put in their own territory the last 2 or 3 drives and kept Virginia Tech out of the end zone. Now it's catching up to them. You see the fatigue with their hands on the hips.
And they make one more play, force a field goal attempt. Clock winding down. 3-2. Jackson snaps it, taking off his Peoples, and he's going to be knocked down right near the goal line. No touchdown signal. And this would make it 4th down.
Well, he came close. He got a nice block there by Cunningham. Hazelton's blocking, but he's definitely short. Aggressive pylon cam. You can see about the half-yard line.
They're going to go for it, as you'd expect. Ball inside the 1. 2 tight end look. Peoples still in there. Peoples has it. Tries to plow forward, still driving. And they are not signaling touchdown. DeMarcus Christmas made a huge play as the Noles goal line stand keeps this deficit from getting to 3 touchdowns.
Boy, how about DeMarcus Christmas? The veteran up front does a good job of shooting through. You see him right there get into that backfield. Even though Peoples is low and keeps his leg driving, it was DeMarcus Christmas that got there initially, and then the rest of the defense is able to rally to keep him short. Well, this defense has played great here in this second half.
That drive began at the 19-yard line.
The last 3 drives, you're thinking, okay, Virginia Tech's at least going to get a field goal. They haven't come away with anything.
They ran 7 plays. Come up a yard short.
They're going to take a peek. See, just to make sure that the spot.
Oh, now they're going to take a peek at this one. Okay.
Yeah.
They said they were 100% sure that Murray did not score in that play in the first half. That was the reason for not buzzing down.
The initial contact, he stopped, but he never touched the ground, and he gave a second effort. It's just a matter of whether or not he got in the end zone. I don't think we'll be able to see it from here.
Yeah, replays on these piles in the middle are tough.
Okay, here you go. See,
there's
Christmas right there. Now watch, he looks like he stopped. He'll come backwards, and then he'll go forward. Watch, he comes back. You think he's done, but he's not. He gives one more effort. Linemen are trying to pull him, but
yeah, where's
he's
the ball,
down.
though? Yeah, the ball never got near the point.
Here's the ball right there.
Yeah, it's clutched in his arm.
Yeah, that's a perfect spot.
So sometimes you stop it to look and see if the guy scored. I like that concept. But Christmas, can you say it was a huge present for the Florida State team? Because that was a monster play.
The field is confirmed. First down.
You know, it's a small thing, Kirk, but the snap was high, kind of throws the timing off just a split second before Peoples got the football. Could have made the difference. So the Noles, who began the last two drives at the 7 and the 12, now start from the 1, but still within 14 in the final minute of the third quarter.
Yeah, I think they have such confidence in the way their defense is playing, pinning them back there, field goal there. It puts him up three possessions, up 20-3, makes it a 3-possession game.
Looking to the sidelines for the signal. You got to be so careful down here. Patrick hit behind in that end zone. He was able to just avoid the safety. Halshawn Gaines was there in a hurry.
Yeah, offensive line, when they move, they're not accounting for gains. Whether it's Gaines or it's inside with Walker, or we've also seen Hewitt. They're freeing up because of the amount of jerseys up there, the white jersey. I mean, look at this. You got 9 guys up at the line of scrimmage.
Soft rain begins to fall to make things even more complicated for this offense, and a flag is down. It's back near the Florida State bench.
Florida State.
Man, it feels like the entire quarter has been played down at this left end, and the Noles just cannot get any space. No breathing room. Foster's defense just continues to swarm.
Tough
4 seconds in the quarter, may not get a play off. They don't.
Tough to run into a 9-man box.
That's been true since the 1870s when football was invented. You're right. End of 3 in Tallahassee. Hokies up by a couple touchdowns. They retire Peter Warrick's number 9 tonight, the hero of that championship game win over the Hokies, as he joins Marvin Jones, Wenke, Terrell Buckley, Brooks. They could use a play of the variety that Peter Warrick used to make back in the day. -7 total yards offense in the third quarter for Florida State. Francois from the end zone lofts it over the head of his receiver. Streaking down there was George Campbell. Haven't seen him get involved, and you wondered when they might throw deep from that position.
Yeah, one of their fastest players going up against one of the fastest Virginia Tech players. He actually got behind him. Just unable to connect on that ball downfield.
And if they can't move the chains here, Kirk, one more punt and one more possession, the Tech figures to take over in plus territory. Hokies rush 4 and still pressure Francois, who dumps it off underneath the Patrick, who's got a lot of work to do and can't get near the first down marker.
Yeah, they've been rushing 3 and dropping 8. This time on third down, they mix it up, rush 4. Force him to get rid of the ball quickly, and then how they rally to the ball. They chase that ball down, and there's nothing these receivers can do. When you have pressure like this coming off the edge, you can see Gaines almost gets to him.
Ladler made the tackle.
Ladler and 2 or 3 other Hokies.
Carroll standing at the Florida State 45. They peel back, don't go for the block. It's a low kick and a returnable play, except Carroll muffs it. And now a scrum at the 42 keeps the football. So Carroll was eager to try to improve the field position even more. It slipped right through him. The rain coming down harder now.
Yeah, the
2.73 in the hang time. That is not doing your coverage team any favors.
Yeah, they caught a break with the ball going through his hands. He just took his eye off the ball, started to look to where to go to run, and got ahead of himself.
Our blimp-worthy quarterback comparison brought to you by Goodyear. After a very fast start, Jackson cooled off a bit. It's been more of the running game lately.
And the defense. It's
yes.
Been
and the
special teams. And field position.
Set up at the 41. McLeese muscles for about 4 yards. The Hokies are just able to do things on first down on the ground. The Noles have been miserable on first down.
Well, part of that has to do, I mean, it's been all night because of the offensive line has struggled, but also in the second half, it's been about field position. I mean, you're snapping the ball inside your own 10-yard line, their own 5-yard line, almost the entire second half. And Virginia Tech starting in plus territory. It's the fourth straight series they've started in plus territory. They don't have anything to show for it either. Yet.
Savoy in motion, and they hand it to him. Ball comes out. A scramble on the far sideline. It goes out of bounds, so Tech will keep it. But they'll be backed up outside the 40.
Kyle Myers puts his helmet right on the ball carrier, right on the ball, and it pops it out of there. Savoy coming around there. Watch Myers right there. Boy, that's textbook on putting your helmet right where it needs to be. Keep your head up, seeing where you're going. Pops the ball out of there, and Noles almost come up with the break that they need here.
Could they come up with another stop with Tech starting in plus territory? 3rd and 11. 2 for 11 on 3rd down tonight are the Hokies. Jackson flushed, surveying the field, chase, and just hurls it. Catch made along the sideline by Patterson, but does not have first down yardage. So once again, somehow, this Florida State defense backed up. They got to get worn down.
Well, they're
get a stop.
One of the things that you struggle with when you're running up-tempo offense and you're not getting first downs is you're off the field in a hurry. And that defense continues to go back out and back out and back out. And I mean, they're tired, but they're coming up with big stops. It's the 4th time in a row they've been able to hold the Hokies, even though they've started inside their own territory to start a drive.
I would not bet against the punter from Sydney pinning Florida State inside the 20 for the 4th time tonight. Yeah. Coverage man grabs the ball at the 9. This looks very familiar. There's the National Championship Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. Will be won in Santa Clara to playoff semifinals on December 29th. Well, the Noles, last 4 drives, Kirk, started from their own 12-yard line or worse. And they have just not been able to get anything going. Listen to the last 4 first down plays. -5, -3, -2, and 0.
I think you got to go back to trying to hit the seams, the vertical seams, up the field. They're not having a lot of success out on the edge against the corners, but you can maybe try to get something upfield.
Akers breaks free. Cam Akers in the clear. Foot race. And they finally spin him down at the 5. The electric play the Noles needed.
Just about to say, as bad as this has been, it's 17-3. You're one big play away from being within a touchdown. The corner doesn't make the play, trying to hold the edge. Farley, and then it's a foot race.
Oh, boy. And after this run down to the 5-yard line, there's a Hokie down. 84 yards on the run for Akers. They had 15 net rushing yards before that play.
ESPN College Football is presented by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase, everywhere. And in part by Jiffy Lube. You can do more in a jiffy.
Our ESPN still photographers capturing some great moments. So Cam Akers, who was a 1,000-yard rusher, broke Dalvin Cook's school record as a freshman. Rips off an 85-yard run, broke a tackle of Farley, and then it was a foot race. They finally got him at the 6.
You're talking about 11:36 to go in this game. You're down 17-3. Your defense has kept you in this game. You've been waiting for the offense to make a play. Akers does it, but they're 0 for 3 in the red zone. It's scoring touchdowns. What can you do? Running the ball has been non-existent in this area. You're going to have to throw and try to find a matchup that they can take advantage of.
Got 4 plays to gain 6 yards. Can they avoid the negative plays that have plagued them so often?
2 big receivers with Gavin and Terry in the game. Out wide.
Akers got a breather, so he's to the right of Francois. They give it to him. The middle is clogged, and he gets a half yard. That has not been there all night.
Now, you're not going to run the ball. The defensive line's winning up front. Linebackers are coming downhill.
Backup Emmanuel Belmar, as Foster's using lots of people tonight. They should be very fresh.
I think you got to try to find either Gavin, who's been around, an experienced guy at 6'3", Terry, the freshman, at 6'4". And maybe their best receiver is DJ Matthews, who's also out there at 29 up at the top.
Francois, play action. Throw in the flat, and the catch is made, but a tackle for loss. Trey McKitty stopped by Reggie Floyd, and it's going to get tougher. 3rd and goal back from the 10.
How good a job is this by Floyd? Matched up man-to-man. They're trying to create a pick, a wall for him to have to go through a lot of traffic as an inside receiver running to the outside, but he gets underneath that. Got underneath that, which was just good instincts, and he didn't hesitate at all. Great play there by 21 Floyd.
And a timeout is going to be taken. This is a crucial play for Florida State. You'd wonder how many yards do they have to get to think about going forward on 4th down.
They're going to have to go for it either way, no matter what happens here on 3rd down, in my opinion. Here's Floyd right here. He's going to match up right here, man-to-man. This is a big-time play. Sees it, gets away from the traffic that's out there, able to make that play out in space. That play had no chance.
It's been a nightmarish night for the Noles in the red zone. They've run 10 plays down here, -6 yards. Cam Akers, the running back, is lined up at the quarterback position, and they fumble the football. They try to wrinkle. It backfires disastrously, and Howshon Gaines has it for Virginia Tech. He tried to get the ball to Amir Rasul.
Well, he's actually reading this, Chris. This play was a disaster. Cam Akers, who hadn't been in all game, is reading this, not just design run, but the backside penetration from Ricky Walker would have blown this play up anyway. You're trying to read the front side to the left, but the penetration from the backside, even if he read it well and held on to the ball, you would have had a problem. Watch the backside get the penetration. See how slow developing it is? If Akers holds on to that ball, he's blown up anyway by Walker. But the hesitation, do I give it, do I pull it? Trick play backfires at a crucial moment in the game.
3rd turnover for the Seminoles. As Akers run that put him in position, but you tried to run it in and it didn't work. Francois and all those talented receivers, they did not take a shot at the end zone. You thought they needed to, they didn't, and it didn't work.
Yeah. How about, let's go back to this, because they kept Florida State out of the end. This is that big run by Akers. Look at the top of your screen. Bryce Watts, the sophomore, does not give up on the play. Looks like he's going to get into the end zone, but it's the hustle and not giving up on the backside, the team pursuit by the sophomore Watts, that keeps Akers out of the end zone, and then they make the stop in the red zone.
Peoples hammers ahead. They move the sticks. Ladler, the linebacker, hustled too. Kirk, number 9. He slowed up Akers just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was surprised. I mean, you go to that diamond formation or whatever, you got Akers taking a direct snap, and I understand trying to change things up, but 3rd down, and hadn't been able to run the ball all night. got to take a shot with Francois. It's probably your best chance to
They're
do
working
that.
through in practice. They're mocking the tomahawk chop over there in that Hokie sideline. In the practice yesterday, they were working with Akers, direct snap situation. So it was certainly in the game plan, but backfired awfully there. Now the Hokies will try to hammer away and bleed the clock. The lead is still 14. Eagles, that's a nice 5-yard first down gain.
Just wonder how much this defense has in them. They have been tested not only with field position, but they're constantly being thrown out there in tough positions. Now, of course, Virginia Tech's, in their own territory, but the defense deserves a lot of credit from Florida State to keep them in this game and keep them within reach. It's 17-3. This game could very easily be 27 or 30-3.
Get the feeling they're going to be working on the red zone offense here in Tallahassee in practice. It'd be hard to imagine a worse red zone night. Jackson rolls. He flips it up underneath the Cunningham. The tight end who's already had a monster night with a block punt makes a catch and rumbles into Seminole territory. Maria?
Well, Kirk, you're completely right. This defense, when they come over from the sideline, they just have nothing left in them. To start the game, you could see them. They were still excited, jumping around when they came off. Now they all just kind of sit down and talk through everything in execution. But everyone on the sideline is saying, listen, they've only had one big play. Stay focused. Keep playing for your offense right now.
Yeah, Maria, that is so tough to do. I mean, there's so many times you can only go to the well so many times emotionally in a 60-minute game. I give these guys a lot of credit. There's still 7 minutes to go in this game.
Can they create a takeaway? Hokies have taken care of the football tonight, and it's Peoples running left. You can see if they can make gains like that on first down, it's going to be tough to get them off the field.
I think Justin Fuente deserves a lot of credit. Third year now in Blacksburg. He's got a sophomore quarterback in his second year. He's got some skill this year to work with. That's the first couple years he hasn't had a lot to work with. I think this year he's got more depth at receiver, better in the backfield. It's going to be a tough team as that defense grows up week after week.
They were not picked to win. Miami was the clear preseason favorite in the Coastal. Maybe I'll reconsider that
after the weekend. After the first week, you would.
Peoples running hard. Lose a yard. It'll be third and short.
I believe that game's in Blacksburg this year with Miami and Virginia Tech.
Yeah, the Hokies we were at the Hard Rock when they came down to Miami last year. Getting ahead of ourselves, but this is a program that, as you suggested, I think correctly at the top, not really considered a serious contender. Many thought they might be third in the division.
Well, again, if you look at it on paper, but you got to be careful of underestimating Bud Foster and the defense, despite all the new faces on that side of the ball.
This is a team that leaned on its defense last year a
Ball
lot.
start, offense, number 77, 5-yard penalty, third down.
Thought they might have to score a little bit more. Fuentes, it would have been hard to expect all the new faces in this defense to play this well right away this season. Yeah, they figure to get better as the season goes on.
Only going to get better, but they were dialed in tonight. I'll tell you what, when we were on the field before the game and the two teams ran out in the field, and you looked at the Virginia Tech team, they looked the part. I mean, they might be young, but they are long and lean and athletic looking.
Jackson rolling out, 3rd and 7 after the penalty, and it's a completion to Kuma. He's still running. Kuma breaks free against a tired defense as the Hokies deliver the dagger here in Tallahassee. "49 yards. Eric Kuma, big, strong receiver, as you suggested, Kurt. That Knowles defense showed a lot of will, a lot of heart, but finally broke on that play.
He sure did. Great effort by Kuma. Watch the effort by his teammate Brimsley, 6. Watch here in the back right. Watch this effort on this block. Bang! Right there on Levante Taylor. He got called earlier for a personal foul because it was after the whistle. This time a clean hit and sending a message to Taylor and the Florida State tired defense.
Second touchdown for Kuma. He collected that block punt and kind of sauntered in from a few yards. This one he really has to work for. One missed tackle, 2, 3, 4. Great block. 21-point lead for Tech. And Justin Fuente had his team ready to go tonight. Came in here as road underdogs. All the hype, all the anticipation for the return of that man Francois and the arrival of Willie Taggart. His team was clicking from the outset. 10 points in their first 2 possessions. Special teams. Bud Foster's rugged defense. And the lead is 21. Kalen LeBourne, the electric freshman, spins free. Made one big play earlier on offense. Let's throw it back 20 years, Kirk. 1998 Western Kentucky, quarterback by Willie Taggart against Murray State with quarterback Justin Fuente. The old Ohio Valley Conference battle for the Red Belt rivalry game.
Hey, man.
This is somebody's VHS.
1998 wasn't that long ago to have that kind of footage.
Kids, ask your parents what a VHS tape is. But the point is, both those guys were great quarterbacks. They were Walter Payton Award finalists, which went to the 1AA Offensive Player of the Year. But Fuente got the better of Murray State, and now trying to go 4-0 head-to-head against Taggart as a coach. 3 times Memphis beat USF. Francois, short pass. Completion made.
I loved something I saw as the teams were leaving at the half, and Virginia Tech had a 17-3 lead. This is before they ran off the field. He wanted to get everybody's attention and let them know it's a 60-minute game. I just love how he was preemptive there.
And there's a diving interception by Caleb Farley, his second of the night. What a dream this guy is living after waiting all year to get back on the field and playing with his mom's memory in his heart tonight. Textbook. Close and make the pick. Farley, one of those new faces. I think Bud Foster had him ready tonight.
I think almost every player, every coach, every trainer has come over to give him some love.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they're brothers in the team. They know what tough times others have gone through. Football season is mayhem, and the Allstate bus along for the ride made the journey up from Orlando to Tallahassee. Kirk, what's the Allstate mayhem moment from last night?
Well, mayhem, it was college football. You think about it, there are a lot of mayhem moments. Last night, LSU, a team that was a big underdog, a team that had a lot of pressure on them, a team that was doubted, came together and sent a message for Ed Orgeron to the country that they are a team to be dealt with. So that was a mayhem moment without a doubt.
I'll ask you about the Canes in a minute. In-state rival for the Seminoles, division rival for the Hokies. How can they bounce back? McLeese hit behind the line, lost the football. Jackson alertly jumps on it. Hokies still without a turnover, but they had to recover a couple of their own fumbles.
How about the true freshman there coming up with a big hit? Jaden Woodby not giving up at all in this game. It may be 24-3, but the true freshman who has that it factor, not paying attention to that score, not giving up, out there playing his heart out.
He's from California, early enrollee. You come in early and you study and you show the coaches you're ready to play. And that's kind of why guys do choose to give up a semester of their high school senior year. If this defense is only going to get better from here, it's going to be pretty fierce for everybody they face this year in that ACC.
We were talking at the break, and they lost some huge names off that defense, many of which are playing in the NFL now.
Tremaine and Terrell, both first-rounders.
Yeah, but this team just has a look about them, and Woodby's down. Just made that play. He is down now. They just have they look athletic. They're playing together. They're playing with some urgency. Boy, it's one game in, but it doesn't appear that they've taken a step back athletically, despite all those losses.
Maria?
Well, guys, we heard Kirk kind of talking about Caleb Farley and everyone coming up to greet him. You can tell that this is a team that really, really loves him, and he was a huge Florida State fan growing up. And we kind of got into it a little bit earlier, but he lost his mom in January, and one of the last things that Robin Farley told him is continue to play football, continue to work hard because I know how much you love it. He said he knows how much his mom's dream was to see him playing in college. She was never able to after tearing his ACL. But again, he's making big plays. He told me before the game that that was his goal, and he's playing right now for his mother. You can tell the team is backing him up and telling him congratulations still on the sideline.
That's awesome, Maria.
Wonderful story. Yeah, his dream, as you envision it, his dream was to take a kickoff back, but he'll take a couple of picks and a huge performance by his defensive brothers tonight. Well, you saluted Woodby for playing so hard. I didn't see how he got hurt, but the athletic trainers are still over him. And we talked a lot about the changes that Taggart tried to make. He felt that after Francois got hurt in the opener, guys on both sides of the ball really began to feel like, oh shoot, our season is over, we can't reach our goals. They kind of checked out. This was a team that was 2-5 in October. At that point, that was the record. They ended up winning the last 4 games. It brought the ACC's longest win streak into this season. But Kirk, this is going to be a serious test beginning this week. How are these guys going to regroup and rebound? They fully expected to win tonight.
Yeah, and if Alabama was discouraging last year, I can only imagine with this conference game and just the way the game went, especially for their offense, all the things he put in place to help try to build them together will be tested. We'll see where they go from here.
Samford at home, then at Syracuse, Northern Illinois, at Louisville, at Miami. Clemson comes in here in October.
Until they figure things out offensively, I mean, any of these teams that they play in conference are Power 5 teams.
Well, one thing about this being a cross-divisional game is that it doesn't make or break your season in terms of the chance of representing the ACC championship game. Whatever happened in this game, they're going to have to deal with the teams in their division. So, you know, for Virginia Tech, it's Miami, as you said, which comes to Blackburg. For Florida State, you're still going to have to deal with the Clemsons of the world, but certainly all the enthusiasm that Willie Taggart, who's a very high energy, enthusiastic guy, it's contagious. The players bought in. It happens at you know, in practice you can see it, but now really not a lot you could take positive from what you saw on the field tonight. So you'll have to do some work with these guys' mindset, I think.
For sure. Billy Bonnell, our producer, is telling me I get to, after 1 week of football, get to put my top 4 out there, which is always fun after a week of football. You start with Alabama, you go with Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia. There are a lot of other teams that you could make a case for. I try when you rank these teams, I don't know how you feel, forget about the preseason rankings, just based on what you saw and who they played in that first game. There's some teams like Oklahoma that look great, but you got to, I think part of that, you have to take into consideration who they played. But
well, Ohio State didn't meet much resistance. I mean,
no.
Certainly on talent and personnel alone.
Yeah.
Meyer 2 more games that he can't coach. We'll see him at TCU in Texas in a few weeks. That'll be a test.
He is back at the office coaching Monday through Friday, or Sunday through Friday. He just can't coach on Saturday. But you know, you look at it right now. Of course, it's going to change quite a bit between now.
Or will it? I mean, Alabama, Georgia, and Clemson. Everybody's got those 3. Maybe it won't change as much as you think.
That's a good point.
A lot of people had Washington as a playoff team, beat by Auburn.
I don't think they'll drop that far.
Francois completion. They've tried to get the ball to the edge so many times. It's McKitty, and they just haven't had anything going out there wide. There's the AP top 10. I think Alabama's going to probably stay number 1. I would say.
Yeah. Clemson, Georgia.
Wisconsin looked good.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
Yeah, this is where will Washington drop? That'll be the big question in the polls.
Miami will drop pretty far.
You hear that?
Tech
fans have taken over Tallahassee. They're the only ones making noise in that far corner over there. Francois thought about chucking it downfield. Now just slides.
Smart.
After a very short gain. I don't know if they sold every ticket. There were some empty seats over there in the visitors section, but the ones who showed up here are still making plenty of noise. This is their first trip here in 10 years. They're going to win for the first time in Tallahassee since 1974. Is it going to be a pick? Yes. Ball was knocked up in the air, and Vinny Mahota made the play, and they're pumped for Vinny because he's the guy coming back from a torn ACL.
Nathan Proctor, the freshman, got the hand on it. How many times have we seen DeAndre Francois, who is a shorter quarterback, have the ball knocked down by a defensive lineman? Especially those defensive ends have had their hands active. Nice to see Mahota get a chance to come up with the interception. Defensive end to defensive tackle, but the awareness once the ball was in the air to go up there and make that play.
Victory formation for the Hokies. 5 turnovers, 7 Florida State penalties. Some of them are very costly, and a blocked punt for a touchdown, and a missed field goal, and a red zone disaster.
Outside of that big play by Cam Akers, the big run, the offense was non-existent. Can give Bud Foster's defense, that young defense, a lot of credit, and give Justin Fuente, the head coach, a lot of credit for getting his team ready to come in and open up the season with a big win in conference play.
Kuma's catch and run, the only points in the second half. And the Noles, after halftime, Kirk, 7 possessions, 4 punts, and then 3 turnovers in the last 3 possessions.
Just a dominating performance by Virginia Tech's defense. Controlled the game, controlled field position. And we said it, you kind of know what you're going to get with Josh Jackson in this offense. But the defense from Virginia Tech, they are going to be really nasty as the season progresses and they have more experience under their belt.
Meaningless stat of the night, the Noles actually outgained the Hokies, but it's Virginia Tech by 3 touchdowns. Maria?
All right, Coach, you said you wanted to see how this team, young as it is, was able to finish this game. What did you see from them throughout the second half?
Well, we battled. Obviously, there in the third quarter, we kept them pinned down, and I was worried that we let a couple too many opportunities get away, but we found a way to get it done. I'm proud of our kids.
You knew you were going to learn something about your team on both sides of the ball. What did they show you in their road game?
Well, the stage wasn't too big for them, which I'm proud of. I mean, they prepared. They understood that it's about playing the next play. Now, our challenge is in 5 days we got to play again. So I'm happy for them tonight, and then tomorrow we got to get back to work.
We saw Caleb Fairley go up and get 2 interceptions in this matchup. He's played wide receiver for you. He's gone as a DB, and he's made big plays. So what was it like seeing him have success?
Just so proud of him. You know, he's been through a lot. He got hurt in the first practice of the fall camp last year. And he has a great attitude and works incredibly hard. He loves his school and loves his football team, and I love watching him have success.
Congratulations, Coach.
You bet. Thank you.